When you think of the greatest 2D platforming video games, what comes to mind? To me, that answer is very simple: Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country was a revolutionary game when it came to video games. Nintendo was testing out pre-rendered 3D graphics back in 1994, and surprisingly, it worked to Donkey Kong Country's favor so well. The game just had an authentic and amazing feel to its visuals that really made it such an appealing game on the Super Nintendo. In my opinion, Super Mario Bros. And Sonic the Hedgehog are on top of the totem pole when it comes to 2D platforming video games. I think it's debatable that Donkey Kong Country deserves to be on top of that list as well. Anyhow, let's start this Neo review of Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country came out back in 1994, in the middle of the Super Nintendo's span on the market. Rare developed Donkey Kong Country and was experimenting with Donkey Kong Country using a Silicon graphics workstation. Rare had a team of 12 developers to work on the game, although in the end 20 people worked on Donkey Kong Country during its 18-month development cycle. Donkey Kong Country was revolutionary because it was one of the first video games to use pre-rendered 3D graphics. The budget for this game was insane, over $3.5 million. Donkey Kong Country in its initial release was super successful. In its first month, the game sold 500,000 copies, and many fans consider it to be one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. What makes Donkey Kong Country such a great Super Nintendo game? The game has a ton of fun levels. The level design is just excellent in this game, and this game lets you play as both Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Donkey Kong is more slower and Diddy Kong is more agile. This is what truly adds to the challenge and fun of Donkey Kong Country. When you lose both of your Kongs, you die. Utilizing your Kongs in certain levels really gives the player a sense of when it's right to use your Kongs in certain situations, which I feel was an ingenious move on the part of Rare. Donkey Kong Country has a lot of fun levels, and the controls in this game are great as well. What is the story of Donkey Kong Country? King K. Rool steals your bananas, and Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong have to go get them back. The gameplay of Donkey Kong Country is amazing. This video game is a 2D side-scrolling video game. Donkey Kong Country has a ton of levels in this game. There's jungle levels, snow levels, water levels. The game definitely has a lot of variety in its levels, which I feel is great. The enemies in this game can give you a hard time. The Kremlings, Claptrap, and Beavers really give you a hard time. The boss battles really weren't all too impressive in this game. You pretty much jump on them, and the design of the bosses just really weren't as good as I thought. What Donkey Kong Country really has going for it is its completion. Let me go further into detail. In about every level, there is a secret area. If you go through every secret area, you can 100% the game. This really adds a whole level of substance to this game, which I feel is great. Getting lives is super easy in this game as well, which really surprised me. And the music in this game is just breathtaking. Pieces like Aquatic Ambience is literally one of the most beautiful underwater songs I have ever heard in a soundtrack in this video game. It's just amazing. Soundtracks like Aquatic Ambience really shows a whole emotion, a whole side of this game that is just amazing. Soundtracks like Aquatic Ambience really shows a whole emotion, a whole side of this game that I really never thought existed. Whenever I hear Aquatic Ambience, this song just engages me and invokes a certain emotion that I don't get from other video game soundtracks. I mean, listen to this. All in all, the gameplay of Donkey Kong Country is amazing and is truly an awesome game. So what are my final thoughts about Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo? Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo is truly one of the best 2D platformers ever made. This game just has amazing level design. There are so many well thought out and fun levels in this game, and being able to play as both Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong is truly amazing. Rare worked on this game back in 1994, and back then, Donkey Kong Country was successful. Even 25 years later, I feel that Donkey Kong Country is still a great game. This game has aged very well, and I still consider it one of the best 2D platforming video games of all time. If you guys have a Super Nintendo, or if you guys want to check the Wii U Virtual Console, I strongly recommend playing Donkey Kong Country. Anyhow, thank you for watching this Neo review, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!